Welcome back into a brand new episode of Tribal Council Chat. As always, we are your hosts. My name is Bruce Heller.
And my name's Brett Parnell,
And
and
let's
we're back talking about episodes.
go ahead.
So go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
That was me. That was me forgetting. I apologize, Bruce. I was doing my intro for the New Generation Challenge podcast. Listen to that if you're a
I was
challenge
just gonna
fan.
I was just gonna throw it to you to
Fair.
start
But
driving anyway. So
we're back talking about episodes 7 through 9 of Survivor Australia versus the World, and then at the end we're going to be making our finale predictions.
yeah.
So this season, I mean, it's sad because it's probably one of the best seasons we've seen in a while, and it's just came and gone so quickly.
Yeah.
I would, I mean, I think I speak for the whole Survivor fan base to say I would love to see like even US versus Australia versus the world or something on a three tribe format on the American show that would last like 3 months.
Yeah. This is definitely the best season we've seen since Survivor 41.
Either with Jeff hosting, or if he doesn't want to do that as a preseason, like let Jonathan host it, even though he's sadly not hosting the Australian version anymore, and bring Jonathan over to CBS in the States. That would be amazing for a one off.
Did you not notice my rage bait, or did you decide to ignore it?
I did not notice it.
I said this is the best season we've seen since 41.
Oh,
Because I know you're not a fan of 41.
no, I'm
Oh,
not a fan of. I'm not a fan of 41, despite the fact that it gave me my favorite player of the new era, who
yeah,
tragically goes home.
yeah,
Though my second, third, and fourth favorite players in a new era all went very far. So coming from either 43 or 47.
yeah. So that's
Yes, three of my favorite players come from only, like my second, third, and fourth favorite player of the new era all come from only 2 seasons.
makes sense. Both have pretty strong. 47 has a really strong cast. That is.
Yeah. Genevieve would probably be my number two. If I was to round out a top five of the new era, it would be like Jesse, Cass, and I'd have to think probably someone from the 45 cast, but I'd have to put someone in there. I'm not quite sure who it would be.
45 is also a very stacked cast.
It's a stock cast.
There's another certain Canadian you're forgetting here. You always root for Canadians.
Yes, I do. That's true.
There's a Canadian in 41. Just saying.
There is. And she should not have been all the way at the end of the game. But I mean, hey, if you win, you win. The end. Boston Rob.
I love that you routinely quote that, and then we'll turn around and say Erica shouldn't have won.
I didn't. I didn't say she shouldn't have won. She got to the end. She did what she needed to do. Sydney was robbed. The same two things can be true at once.
I think Sydney was going early merge anyway. I think her high level of confidence bordering on cockiness would have rubbed people.
Oh, I agree. I don't think she was winning by any means, but I think if Sydney survives that vote, the odds of like a Denny win is very high.
Yeah, I think if Sydney survives that vote, she gets like one, two, maybe three votes more, but that's it.
Fair.
So, but we are not talking about American Survivor this episode. So where do we want to
No,
start
we're
with
not.
that?
We're talking about Australian Survivor, which is going to quickly become Quebec Survivor, Finnish Survivor, New Zealand Survivor, all in one.
Yeah. So where do you want to start at?
Um, what do you want to say? Anything you want to bring up first?
Mm, nothing comes to mind immediately, but I haven't watched these episodes for 3 days.
I mean,
So
yeah, I mean, I guess the first point is Puff's reaction to Kirby being blindsided. That seems like it's going to be a big move in the game, especially if Puff finds a way to get from 4 to 3. I'm curious to see what is going to be Kirby's reaction on the jury.
yeah, I agree. And so I think that was an interesting move anyway, and we talked about the Kirby vote last week, I believe.
Yeah, we did. But we
But
get more of it coming back to camp. And
Parv sending someone home that was so eager to want to work with her,
yeah,
it's a risky move. It's not a move I think I would have made, but she still seems to be in a great position.
she
So
does. And then we get the reward portion of Cass's immunity win, which is that she has a scroll, but she was told not to open it until the next day. Obviously, she'll always get this reward because she has the immunity necklace. So it's not like you can be voted out and miss out on your reward. But Cass gets to open it up and finds that she has won a trip to the Survivor Spa. They are not going to the sanctuary, but I guess good things happen at the spa too. And she gets to bring 3 people with her to participate in a shower, food, champagne. I just love being a Canadian, listening to Cass use the proper pronunciation of champagne on Australian Survivor as opposed to the English variety. That was great.
what's the incorrect pronunciation?
Champagne in English,
Oh,
as opposed to champagne in French.
I like ours better because it's my native language.
Fair enough. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the native language of the Champagne region of France is French. So
Yeah, well,
it's a beautiful part of the world.
yeah. Popping open champagne just has a better ring to it than popping open champagne.
Fair enough.
That I have a feeling, but
A bit, but that's okay. So Cass chooses 2 of her allies in Parv and Suri to go, but then she also chooses Tommy. So what I had noted here was that clearly the world tribe being split by gender is off. And now that Tony's gone, it doesn't seem to be completely relevant because Lisa is staying back at camp to watch the Australians while Tommy goes on reward with the girls.
here's the thing. The way they edited this episode, they really didn't show Lisa at all for a while.
No.
Like these 4 go on reward, and then Janine and Luke are like, it's crazy they didn't even take one of us. And I was like second guessing myself for like half the episode. Did I skip an episode? Did Lisa go home somewhere? What happened? Because they didn't show her. Like finally, deep into the episode, there's a shot at camp where it's a group conversation and she's there.
Yeah.
But they did not show her.
They
show her on screen forever.
They didn't show her, which is odd because usually when we have a Zane Knight or Jen Brown or Hannah or Austin Taylor, we get at least some sort of lead up to it.
Yeah. Australian Survivor has always kind of been weird with how they edit their episodes, though.
Yeah, fair.
So.
But when we get to reward, we see that it seems to be 4, but then there's a 2 within that. We get a lot at the spa of Parv and Suri really interacting about the fact that they've been playing this game together 16 years ago with the Black Widow Brigade, and that they're totally happy going to the end together. And you get a neat confessional of Parv saying that she feels Suri had her chance of sitting in the final 3 taken away from her by that twist that we saw in Micronesia. And I'm screaming at the screen going, Parv, she would have beat you.
Yeah, maybe. We'll never know.
We'll never know, but I think Suri had that one. Probably. If she makes it to the end. Probably. In contrast with this season, if I'm Parv, I'm totally happy sitting next to Suri because I think Parvati wins this season against Suri easily.
But here's the thing. You have Lisa on the jury who would rather see Suri win than see herself win. So...
Yes, but Lisa is 1 vote. There are 7 votes.
But we've seen before, how, like, one juror that's determined enough can sway votes. And like,
yeah, but do we think that Lisa is going to be as convincing as, say, a David or a Scott?
Oh, my mind went to Jesse and Carla, but...
That's a fair one too. I should put that in there.
At least that's the claim that's out there by the crowd that hates 43 is Jesse and Carla were bitter they weren't taken to the end. They swayed the jury against her, blah blah blah. Whatever. But I don't know. Lisa's probably not persuasive enough to do that, but
Hey, you know I'm always going to bring up Scott Pollard whenever we talk about persuading a jury.
yeah, I just am not a fan of his after taking the machete and flint and saying find a way to make fire. Then they do and he dumps water on it. I'm like, okay, I need you gone now.
Yeah, I did need him gone. I needed him on the jury to persuade them all to vote for Michelle.
Like at least like Jason, we get the cool Kyle Jason, we get the cool like animal sanctuary reward. We get
Yeah.
some soft moments of him talking about his kid. Scott, I just was not a fan of.
I mean, I'm going to push back quickly against that, even though we are talking about Australian Survivor, and just say it's not the exact same, but we do get some moments of like that human side of Scott, though, with him like struggling with his relationship with his family and with his
That's true.
religion,
I
and
forgot about that.
going into the NBA and really being challenged to like how much you have to commit to become a professional athlete
That's fair.
at the expense of a lot of other things that people would like to have in life.
I forget about that because they did a lot of Jason's character development once Scott was gone.
Yeah.
So when I think of them together, I'm just like, I don't like it.
I mean, I don't forget about a lot in there, but that's because, as you can probably expect, I've watched Korong like 10 times.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's only been 10 times. I would expect like 50, honestly.
They took it off Paramount Plus.
Oh, they did?
Well, not anymore. Guess what? Breaking news. As of last week, Paramount Plus has seasons 1 through 48 for Canadians. We are back.
Time you guys caught up to us.
About time. Well, we had them all during the pandemic. They just took them away. And then they put them back because they were pressured.
Lame. We never lost ours.
Anyway, let's get back to the challenge after the reward. And this is a really fun challenge where the castaways have to keep a leaky bucket full of water in order to construct their puzzle on or their stack. This looked hard.
This looked awful.
Yeah. I'm like,
I would still be out there doing this if I was one of them. The season would be done filming. They'd have a winner. Multiple months would have passed, and I'd still be out there trying to finish this challenge.
they wouldn't let you try to do that. Otherwise, Sui would still be walking across balance beams.
Well, I know that it wouldn't actually like when somebody won the challenge would end, but like that's how hard this would be for me. I'm
Yeah.
speaking figuratively.
So, I know. The one thing that I found needed in this, though, was all it needed was a certain amount of weight in the bucket. So I think the key was not to watch the bucket drop, but just to keep filling the bucket because there was only two positions, up and down. There was not like every time that it loses a little bit of water, does the bucket start moving and then you're done.
Yeah, true.
So if you can know, okay, I've got enough water in that it drops, keep putting in like 5 times more. And then do your puzzle and you'll be done. Or your stack. But then we see Tommy wins immunity. Tommy is becoming a physical threat this season from Finnish Survivor, even if only one of his wins was now for real. I mean, I guess one of them he won by a rock draw, but in order to be in that rock draw, he had to compete in last gasp long enough for a thunderstorm to almost kill him.
Yes, we know who Tommy from Finland is for sure.
Yeah. But now we have a, once again, crazy moment at camp because everyone has to decide who to vote for and where idols are going to be and so on and so forth. What did you think about this camp scene right before Tribal?
This was wild, and I don't know if we've passed it. While everyone's at the spa, I'm going to go back a little bit.
Go ahead.
Luke gets an idea that I had back on like early episodes of the World Tribe when they were like trying to figure out the box. my thought was, what if somebody just breaks the box open?
You know what my thought went to?
What?
We can't do an episode without mentioning All Stars. Boston Rob, you guys just want to crack this open?
Yeah, and Luke does it.
And he does it. And they didn't stop him. That was amazing.
And I thought of that in like the second episode of the season with like the Parvati stuff. And I'm like, what if they just crack it open? Or like Parvati's looking for the key. I'm like, what if Tony just smashes that against a rock?
I'm going to say, because it could be just a difference in Australian production versus American production.
I
But the
assume
fact
production would not let them just break the box, but Luke does it.
my thought is that the reason that Rob was not able to break the box, when we all know Rob's personality, if they were going to allow him to break the box, he would have broke the box. But Luke does it, is that production knew, hey, this is going to be a great moment for TV, and there's nothing in the box.
I think Australian Survivor, like their production just has different rules than ours does.
Otherwise
like
known as the production gives no shits.
If the
You
box
can do anything
been,
you want.
I'm choosing to believe, because this is what I want to believe, that even if Parv hadn't opened that box and gotten the advantage inside of it, they still would have let Luke do this.
Okay. I'm going to think otherwise, but hey, we can only know if production ever tells us.
Well, I'm believing my answer because it's what I'm choosing to believe and what I want the answer to be, because that's just amazing if they would just let him smash the box.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
But also, it has to be the same answer whether the box has been opened or not. Otherwise, that would tip off if something was in it or not.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, that's up to the player who opened the box if they want to leave something in it or not.
But yeah, so that's where I was going. During the spa, Luke smashes the box and finds it. Nothing's in it. Oh no. Someone's been in here already.
And someone's been in there weeks ago.
Yeah.
In a 14-day season, at least days ago, equivalating to half the season.
It's so weird how short the season is for a 14-person cast.
Extremely weird.
Yeah. But no, going into tribal, camp is wild. It's Tommy wants Tommy from Finland to be known. He's trying to set up a blindside on Parv, and it hits the fan at tribal.
Yeah. And with this issue, Parv has got the idol out, so she's not going anywhere. Yeah. And now it's up to Parv basically to do what she does best, and that's run the show and decide who's going to go home.
Yeah.
And in this case, we see Parv not quite trusting Cass, who was her ally for pretty much the whole game.
Yeah, but this time it was smart not to trust her. Cass was the blind side against her.
Absolutely. And when we
had her own idol.
Yep.
Parv immediately reads her advantage, so that's how Tommy knew about it. We were wondering about that from the trailer.
Yeah.
Cass then plays her idol on Lisa, and then she goes home.
That's right. And Cass could have, like we said, played an idol on herself and stayed and created a whole mess. But instead, she played it on Lisa when all the votes were going, well, the majority of the votes were going to her.
Yeah, Lisa didn't even get many votes here.
No. I don't have any idea why Cass would have played that for Lisa. It makes no sense.
So Cass gets her torch snuffed. She goes to the jury bench. And then we pull a twist we've seen before with Australian Survivor. I believe we saw it in Heroes versus Villains. Of surprise, you immediately have another immunity challenge in another tribal.
Yeah. And we go out into the jungle just behind tribal, where the players have another one of the American Survivor challenges where you have to go back and forth balancing.
Yeah.
Was that this one?
I don't remember for sure.
I don't know, but this no, it wasn't. Who was it? I don't remember. This season is complicated because there's so many challenges all in the same week.
Yeah.
But Tommy at this point loses. It's Luke who wins this challenge. And Luke is going to start here going on a bit of an immunity run of his own.
Yeah, he is. And so Luke wins this immunity. We go right back to Tribal.
Cass walks in as a member of the jury.
And Parv sets her sights on Tommy's not immune anymore. Tommy's who tried to lead a blindside against me. I'm voting for him. And just announces that.
That's what she does. And then out of nowhere, Lisa tries to manipulate the game through very questionable means ethically. And thankfully, Jonathan, American Survivor, take note, puts a stop to it right away. And by that, Lisa decides that she's going to quit. And when Lisa says she's going to quit, she wants to go home for one reason and one reason only. Lisa thinks that she can get Tribal canceled, go to the jury herself when she knows at this point she can't, has a very small chance to win, and that would basically give Tommy as well as everybody else immunity in the game. Jonathan, and I think extremely smartly, says if you quit, you're not on the jury. One, well done. People who quit should not be on the jury. Yeah, Nicaragua. Though I don't really fault Kelly Bruno because production didn't.
Not Kelly Bruno.
Not Kelly Bruno. Purple Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly.
I'll just go with that.
Shin, I think, was her last name.
Yeah. I definitely do fault Nyanka mostly because she tackled Kelly Bruno while she was on one leg.
Yes, but you have to have the same rules for both of them. So they should have neither one of them been.
Yeah, you do have to have the same rules for both of them. They should have been able to take the same amount of personal supplies into the game. As same as goes for everybody else. You have Dan with $20,000 shoes, and you have Kelly who's not even allowed to basically wear a proper bathing suit.
No, I'm not disagreeing that was stupid. I just didn't want to see them on the jury after they quit.
Yeah, that's fair.
$20,000 shoes that got buried in sand in the ocean, by the way.
Though, if I had to have a quitter on the jury, Nyanka's vote, I'm okay with her being on the jury, and I'll talk about that offline. Because it was too funny.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone have to get their vote blurred out by production the same way that they did with Amanda Schultz.
Yeah. So, but yeah, relating that back, Lisa tries to quit, tells people to vote for her, something along those lines.
Yeah.
She learns she won't be a juror if she does that and decides to stay.
And more so than just not being a juror, she learns that there'll be another vote after she walks out, so therefore Tommy will still be going home.
Yeah, that's smart too.
Yeah, they were very smart. And I mean, in such a short season, a camp day wouldn't have been that bad for production's point of view. Yeah. They could have had a day where if there's another thunderstorm in the middle of a challenge, they could have said, let's just come back tomorrow and do the challenge.
Yeah.
But with 14, 15 days, you really don't have time to do that the way you do on a U.S. season, even if it's 26 days.
Yeah, I'd agree. So Tommy does go home here because Parvati said she's voting for him, and so everyone else does that. And so we go back to camp, and we're at 5 at this point. Parvati, Serene,
we're at 5.
Luke, Janine, and then Shawnee's just kind of in the middle. There's 2 pairs and then her, which seems like
no, we're at 6 because we haven't got rid of Lisa yet.
I forgot about Lisa.
You thought she was gone 3 episodes ago.
I thought she was gone 2 episodes ago because they didn't put her on the screen for half the episode.
But either way, this isn't an episode that we need to say go a ton into, because I think of every episode this season that was had such high levels of drama, this episode with Lisa going home was the one episode this season that just seemed to be very predictable.
Yeah, it's very straightforward.
And I guess the one notable thing before it happens, you tell me if there's anything else you want to go into, but there's a few notable things in this episode. Um, the first is that Luke gets another immunity.
Yeah.
And we're not done talking about Luke winning immunity.
No, we're not.
Before we play mega-sized simmotion that he's failed on in the past.
Mega-sized simmotion is fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, it was. But we'll get to that in just a second. But no, this is the, like, Kawu challenge that Luke wins. And then, honestly, I think that a lot of this ties into last episode. We can pretty much just go through it since we're pressed for time. It's nighttime, and we want to get done all 3 episodes tonight.
Yeah.
But I really think a lot of this goes back to last episode. Is at this point, if Lisa's threatening to quit and interfere with the flow of the game, at this point, who's going to trust her on anything left in the game? And also, who is going to think that Lisa is in any way a good person to win the title of the world champion of Survivor after playing with that way?
She basically pulled a Q here.
That's it. And
who was looking really strong. Then he did the fake quit thing for reasons I'm still not sure I understand. Then he gets a clown at it the rest of the season.
Yeah. And now he's got his way onto 50, so hey, it worked. Yeah. There might be some things that are more valuable than anything other than winning and getting a spot on 50. He's way up there.
I would not have put him on 50 if it was my choice, but I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah, I'd agree. But yeah, then at that point, we see Lisa go out. She wants Suri to win Survivor more than she even wanted to win herself. All I put down in my notes pretty much in this episode is going back to episode 1. If this was New Zealand Survivor, no wonder they don't air it anymore.
I'd love to see her winning season, though.
Yeah, it would be fun.
Because someone we've talked about before, and we should do an episode on sometime, that would be fun, is JT.
Yeah.
It's freaking amazing and brilliant socially.
I'll write it down. We'll do an episode on him next off season.
JT was just brilliant his first season, and then comes back and is just a bonehead, and comes back a third time and is not quite as big of a bonehead as Heroes versus Villains, but close.
Yeah.
So, I assume that's Lisa, where she was just incredible her first season and then regressed.
I wonder what would happen if JT played International Survivor.
I don't know.
That would be fun.
He gets a bit more unhinged every time. From his first season to his second season, he went from normal to I'm going to write a letter and send an idol to someone I've never heard of and haven't watched play. All I know is that they're a villain, which should be enough to say
should be.
Villains are bad, or at least can't be trusted in the game. And goes from that to fussing at people over sugar and stranding his tribe at sea while he looks for an idol.
That was an amazing moment, but yes.
Oh, I love it so much. It's one of my favorite scenes in all of Game Changers, honestly, is him. Hey, let's go out for a raft ride in the ocean or whatever he said. And, I need to go get something from camp, and doesn't give them a paddle and just into the forest looking for idols, never to be seen by his tribe mates.
I wonder what was going on in production when he just jumped off that raft and left. There had to be a few moments in Survivor with that I would just love to be a fly in the wall in the production room when they were actually filming it. And you've got to imagine that Jeff is seeing it for the first time. And I'm thinking of Sue telling Richard that he has to actually work and can't just be dictating people around. I'm thinking of Chewie Gunn losing a boat, and I'm thinking of JT stranding his tribe in the ocean.
The thing is stranding, not to mention, JT finds an idol through that method.
Yeah.
An idol that he puts in his bag and then leaves that
Forgets it
at camp when he goes to the tribal where he gets voted out at for yelling at people. Gets voted out because he yelled at someone about sugar.
Michaela, I think.
Yeah, not at...
If anybody is listening to my other show, New Generation Challenge podcast, don't yell at Michaela Bradshaw. It doesn't end well.
Did you guys yell at her and did she respond to your show?
No.
Oh.
It's just...
I'm a couple episodes behind. Who yelled at her on the challenge?
There's just always conflicts in the challenge house. No one really in general, but she's very assertive of her own positions, as we know.
She's very confrontational.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little much for me, but
she's an amazing challenger.
Someone, I forget who, I sent this to you a few weeks ago, basically said she's one of their least favorite challengers, but didn't say it. Said it's something that rhymes with Bejayla or something like that.
Oh yeah, one of the rookies said that. Derek Chavez said that.
Yeah. I'm like,
I love Derek.
We're not even trying to be. I like him a lot. He's my second favorite Derek of the Derek.
I met Derek. His autograph is right in the middle of that picture.
He seems really cool. I like him. He is admittedly my second favorite Derek of the two Dereks that were on 40 and 41.
Actually, I met him twice. I met him at Challenge Mania Atlanta, and I met him over a decade before while he was filming The Real World in Cancun.
Isn't the other Derek one of the hosts of Challenge Mania,
yes.
The podcast? Have you met him?
No, because he hasn't came to any of the live events that I've been to yet. But I should be.
What?
But I should be meeting him. I believe he's coming to Buffalo in November, so I should be meeting him there.
He's my favorite Derek because I've watched him a lot more on my screen than the other one.
Yeah, nice.
And he seems like a cool guy to hang out with.
So if I meet him there, I'll let you know.
Okay.
If he comes. He didn't come to Atlanta, but he had a new child in Chicago. Oh. So Atlanta to Chicago was pretty far.
I still like Derek.
Buffalo to Chicago is a day trip if you want it to be.
Yeah. I still like Derek C a lot. I've just watched Derek K more and more attached to him because of that. But yeah, Michaela, JT, and I might get flack from Kevin from what I'm about to say because every time we don't mention Q or every time we say something that's not promoting Q, Kevin texts us about it. I think if I were production, I would have, and everyone I want is interested, I would have given Q's spot on 50 to JT.
Yeah.
JT, and I get the argument of, we've seen people play 3 times. Let's give other people a chance to play a second time. Yeah, but JT.
Yeah, that's enough said.
He's, depending on which version, he's either an amazing player or amazing TV. The guy doesn't disappoint. And Q was amazing TV, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather watch JT.
Yeah. So getting back to the final episode of Australia versus the World, so we went on a bit of a tangent, but that's okay.
That's par for the course here. The audience should expect that.
Yeah, exactly. First, I think we have some really interesting strategic play to open the episode, and that doesn't usually happen in Survivor. Usually it's just like standard camp life that you see to open it. But we have a brilliant move from Shawnee at this point. And Shawnee is basically filling the 2 Americans in on Janine's career, that Janine is a public figure in Australia that nobody in North America would have heard about unless they're an Australian Survivor fan.
Which I completely forgot.
Yeah, I did too. And Shawnee is filling Pav and Suli in on the fact that Janine owns multiple businesses and clearly has a lot of money and does keynote speaking once a month for fun. And basically, you can see that Shawnee at this point planting the seeds of people might know me as the like bigger name in this franchise, but you don't want to sit next to somebody who does keynote speaking for fun at the final three.
Yeah, and I watched Janine's first season was Champions versus Contenders 2. So David's first season, Luke's second. I had forgotten this, but yeah, she does public speaking. And that's like the first I remembered that. I'm like, oh, that's right. And so she's scary.
Yeah.
Shawnee's in a good spot here though, because there's 5 people and there's 2 pairs, and you're in the middle, so that both pairs need you.
You're right. Also, a spot you often don't want to be on in Survivor, because we've seen 2 pairs in a final 5 where.
Yeah. And by the way,
No, you were supposed to answer the question.
Do what?
I said, where have we seen 2 pairs in a final 5 before?
Oh, 48.
No, All Stars.
Well, that too.
And Tom goes home.
Yeah.
It would have been so simple for Tom to vote out Amber, and either, I would say Tom probably is the favorite to win the season.
Tom goes home at 5.
5. Because Rupert and Jenna are a pair, and Rob and Amber are a pair.
But also Jenna.
I mean, full disclosure, Rupert and
that something gets a lot more interesting if Jenna votes with Rob and Amber with Rupert at 4 and forces a tie.
It does, but you're not going to force a tie to go into the final 3 against the most popular TV show personality in the United States.
Yeah. The guy
I honestly think at that point, if Rupert is playing in like, I don't know, 20 or 27, Jenna forces that tie. But Rupert was the face of the franchise in 7 and 8.
Rupert was so popular that at the finale and at America's Tribal Council, which I watch on my All-Star rewatches, by the way.
Same.
He literally just stands on stage and goes, "Rah!"
Yeah.
And the crowd gives him a standing ovation for just growling like that.
Exactly.
Like, what is happening? I love Rupert.
I mean, hey, that was the time.
But
yeah, he is. But that was the thing, is it's like
wild.
Rupert's popularity was so high that you could not possibly beat him in a final 2. So that's the only reason Jenna does that.
Yeah. But, and also, I'm sitting here talking about how good of a position Shawnee's in. She goes home this episode, by the way.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I don't think she's in as historically as good of a position as it looks.
Yeah.
And that's why I brought up Rupert here.
Yeah. So, interesting stuff to talk about. Sad to see her go home.
Yeah, it was. But moving on from the topic of Janine and Shawnee's good strategic play, we go into the challenge, and I know you wanted to talk about Mega Size Simmotion. This was amazing.
I want to play this game. It looks fun.
Oh, it does. And it was just neat to see, like, adding that aspect of making Simmotion a physical challenge too, and not just a dexterity challenge, when you actually have to do running and climb stairs. And even though it's not that much physical, it's enough that it makes you tired.
Yeah.
And if you're in like Perth's case, you quickly realize, oh wait, I'm burning gas enough that I drop 2 balls within half a second of each other.
Yeah.
And the rules of this state that you can't just drop your ball in, you have to go up the stairs in between and drop in between each ball. So we quickly see Suri and Janine and Shawnee go out, but then it sets up what almost at this point has become like I want to call it a rivalry between Luke and Perf.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is going to go all the way to the end or not. I hope it does.
It's not a super heated rivalry like a Sandra versus Russell.
Yeah.
Or like a Missouri.
But it's a competitive rivalry.
Or like a Missouri versus Kansas that we hate each other so much it goes back to the Civil War and now takes place in college sports. It's a friendly rivalry.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're competitive and it's always in challenges and it's great.
That is very true. But it definitely, I think, if they ever, and I don't think they will, but it's competitive enough and makes Luke a big enough character with his relationship with Perf that if they ever do something like this on US Survivor, Luke will get a call thanks to this season.
Yeah. I would say call David too, but he's already said he doesn't want to play US Survivor. So
Oh really? I totally missed that.
I think he said that around Dondi, but then again, people change their mind all the time. Sandra said she was done on Winners at War, then went and played Australian Survivor. So
tomorrow, TT and I are going to be talking a lot about Leroy, who told us he was retired from the challenge like 4 years ago.
After 36. Then he was gone for a little while.
Yeah, and he's done like 3 seasons since.
I guess I haven't watched the episode. The last episode I watched is when Johnny went home. Which
so you're 2 weeks behind.
After last night, I'm 2 weeks behind. Which, by the way, based on what I've read about the ratings, I'm not the only one that hasn't watched since Johnny went home. Face of the show. But sorry, I had to mess with you there. But
yeah, you did.
Even though you agreed with me on that when we were texting.
But I agree with you on that. I just thought that you would be more interested in watching D play than watching Johnny play.
I am. I've just been I've been busy this week, and
that's fair.
Like, that's just challenge mode for me is rooting for Johnny when he's on my screen. So
fair enough.
But I was going somewhere with that. Oh well. I distracted myself so much I lost my train of thought.
But rivalry between Luke and Perf. It does, in the end, see Perf drop. Go ahead.
It was off topic. Now that Johnny's gone, my guy I'm rooting for, assuming there's one guy winner and one girl winner, is Leroy.
Okay.
Nice. I don't know if he's still there or not, but he is because I want him to be.
Do I need to ask which girl winner you're rooting for?
No. Of course you don't.
See, TT was shocked of which girl winner I'm rooting for.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't even asked you for sure, and I know that it's Sydney.
Yeah, TT thought it would be Olivia, and I mean, I love Olivia. I've met her in real life.
Honestly, I like Olivia. I've liked Olivia on all of her seasons, but she came in this season on the opposite side of, like...
No, he came in on the opposite side. Olivia is running the show.
No, but, like, she came in, like, against the people, like, playing with the UK Alliance, like, I don't know half of them.
She's pregnant with a guy who's the most powerful player from the UK, so...
No, I get it. I was disappointed because she's not playing along with my rooting interest this season. She's actively opposing the people I'm rooting for. So
that makes sense.
Which is mostly Johnny. I don't really think she's gone after anyone else that hard, but
no,
they seem good now. She went on his podcast and they seemed really friendly.
She's been playing a good game. I really hope for Olivia that she does well. I would love to see her win as well, but her or Sydney would be.
Do you think they're cool now, like Olivia and Johnny? It seems like
I would say at least on a cordial level.
Like she's not gonna come into 42 guns blazing at him again.
We'll see. I mean, when you factor in that odds are if it's 42 cast and she's not by herself with Theo, but that Tori will probably be there, Michelle will probably be there, Devin will probably be there. Why not come guns blazing at him at that point?
Yeah.
But hey, this is not NGCP. We would love to have you on that show at some point.
Any time when we can make schedules work, just shoot me.
Yeah, exactly. We'll do.
But
maybe at the
no,
end of the
it's
season.
Luke and Parv, and it's awesome. Luke wins again, doesn't he?
Yep, Luke wins again. Pove drops two balls practically right next to each other by accident. And at that point, her challenge is over. Luke wins again, but Pove has an idol, so she really doesn't care.
Yeah, Trahie is such a good like social player relationship builder that it like the immunity challenges don't even matter for her. She's the first
Yeah,
or second person out in all of them, and she's never in danger.
no, absolutely. And it helps too when Pove is playing such a strong game who's Sui's number one, and Sui is Pove's number one.
Yeah. So
But
I'm
then we pretty much get to tribal, and while it's obvious as to what's going to happen, we get a little bit of drama before. We
yeah.
have Luke ask Janine if they can go and have a chat. And out of nowhere, Luke does something that I don't think has been done since Jenna and Heidi. And that is not chocolate and peanut butter. That is giving up the immunity necklace.
Yeah. That was wild.
But Luke also has an idol anyway, so it's kind of the same thing. But it's neat to see the first player in many decades give up the immunity challenge.
Speaking of Luke, by the way, in he was involved in another conversation where someone else did something really weird. And it's him and Parv. And she like rips up her advantage.
Yes,
What
we
the
can
heck?
talk about that. I can tell you what I think about that.
I don't understand why. There's no
I
to that.
I think Pove, in my mind, played this very well, and I'm going to at least defend my position on it. And you tell me if you think I'm wrong. That's fine. But my take on it is that at this point, Pove knew that there was not really another idol in the game. That Cass went with it most likely.
But you know Luke has one.
Yes, you know Luke has one, but here's the difference: is that with three Australians, ultimately they are just going to do what we've seen with the what's this advantage called?
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. That's what I was looking for. They are ultimately going to do what we've seen every new era tribe with knowledge is power do, and that's have the three Aussies passing around Luke's idol like a hot potato every 2 minutes for
Which is why I
for a
think
day.
I think at this point, yeah, ripping up the advantage, the way you phrase it, is kind of inconsequential. Telling them you had it and not using it at that one at the first episode of this week.
I kind of explained that. Once
Yeah.
the votes were cast, she's not allowed to use it. She showed it for to try to trick
Yeah.
Cass.
She couldn't have used it that episode, but she still could have used it past that and people wouldn't have known she had it if she hadn't pulled it out.
Yes, but no one knew that she had an idol. She would not have found out that Luke had an idol until that was out.
I guess that's I don't know.
Because
All the plays involving this advantage are weird.
they are. And this is my take on exactly why Pove ripped it up. She was able to take what is effectively, in my honest opinion, a useless advantage. And in the end, make a strategic play with it that would earn a little bit of trust from Luke and Janine, potentially saving her in a vote against, say, a Tommy.
Yeah.
Or against Lisa. Or if it was to come to it, against Shawnee or Suri.
It's funny to me that you called it useless because Jeffrey loves it.
I know Jeffrey loves it.
He loves
But
it, and
I'm not Jeffrey.
I believe his
I was Jeffrey
reasoning.
because I'd have a place to live in Fiji.
I don't know why I went full name Jeffrey there, but Probe's reason for loving it is kind of interesting. It's even if they never introduce it into Survivor again, the threat of it is always there.
That's true.
I'm like, okay, that's kind of true. That's an interesting thought, but
But when they don't introduce it, the threat of it might be there to the players, but we don't really ever see it, so it doesn't come up on TV.
But that'll affect how they play.
It's true.
Like they'll do things out of like 43. Did anyone actually have knowledge is power? Because
I
they
don't
did
think
the
so.
idol shuffle, and that led to Janine giving her idol to someone that went home, who
Yeah,
secretly gave it to Jesse, who still had it while Janine was in the game and she didn't know.
yeah,
And I
exactly.
don't remember if knowledge is power was actually in the game or not.
And it took me about 45 seconds to remember who Janine was, and that we're not talking about Australian Janine here.
Yeah, 43 Janine. But
Yes.
no, no, I get the thing though. Like I don't like it as an advantage because I mean, freaking Xander of all people found a way to break it. No offense to Xander, but
But
it
I think that's the thing is sometimes things that might be an advantage because we all know that both the Australian game and the new American game are so advantage heavy. Sometimes things that are not always advantages can be played in a way to be strategic, even if it's not an actual advantage. We've seen that happen with knowledge is power. We've seen that happen with um, the dice shot in the dark,
yeah.
using shot in the dark as a negotiation with Jeff instead of actually playing it. When Jeff is really telling the players, you're giving up your 1 in 6 shot at immunity, and it's like, yeah, because it's totally useless, and the players know that, so they'd rather use it to get ice.
Is there only one like safe at each tribal?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, because my thought was, what if like everyone played their shot in the dark at a given tribal?
I think one of them would be like if there was 6 people, one of them would be safe, and they would immediately refill a not safe in there, but who knows?
But there would I'm also realizing there would also be no votes in that scenario. So now I'm really want to see this happen. I guess if
Yeah,
you vote,
it would depend how many people are in the game.
yeah.
If it was 6, then yeah, there's none. But either way. So then we get another funny moment that you're going, what's the point of doing this? But first, Luke says, as if it's some sort of advantage, when Jonathan says it's time to play idols if you want to, Luke says ladies first to Parv, as if Parv is going to go and do that. Um, that was funny because it's an obvious disadvantage, yet he's trying to phrase it as something advantageous for her. In the end, it really doesn't matter because if they both play their idol for themselves, which is what happens, I mean, technically it doesn't, but in all fact, they both have an idol to protect themselves. They're not using it on Shawnee or on Suri. It's not a big deal, but there's this big threat that Parv says in Tribal. What if I use my idol for me or for Suri? Nobody knows. And then Luke says I might use mine for Shawnee. And now it's gone open. But before we get into that, I want to ask you something. We see Parv have the idol around her neck. We see Luke give his immunity necklace to Janine. We see Luke pull out his immunity idol. Did you see Suri's eyes at this point?
No, that's a good
So
point. No.
Suri's eyes go right to Shawnee's bag. And she's having Game Changers flashbacks all over the room.
Probably stressed Lisa the frick out too.
Yeah,
But man, I would have felt so bad for her if we had another advantage get in.
I know. But at the same time, I'm like, you can just read in Suri's body language. Oh no, not again. This is not happening. And thankfully it doesn't, and Suri's still in the game, so we can laugh at it.
Bro, we have Michaela who got first booted twice in Survivor. If
Yeah.
we had Suri joining that, who got advantage get-in twice.
Michaela, you mean Francesca?
Francesca, that's right. That's your fault. You were talking about Michaela earlier. But yeah, if
Or is it Francesca?
we have Francesca who went home the same way twice famously.
Yeah.
Getting advantage get-in twice would just be a whole nother level. And
It
you
would be.
just turned
Thankfully, that did not happen.
I just turned advantage get-in into a verb, so you're welcome, grammar. But yeah, just crazy tribal here.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. But it doesn't happen. Luke and Luke and Parv both decide to play the idol for each other so that way they can make sure that nobody's going to play it on anybody else. And Shawnee goes home.
Yeah.
In what's a 4-1 vote. I mean, I think this was pretty much guaranteed to happen since the beginning of the episode, at least from when we get a scene where Parv and Suri say neither of them is falling for Shawnee's pitch of you don't want to sit next to Janine.
Yeah, I agree.
And then we're done. So let's get into our finale predictions. What do you think's going to happen in fourth place?
Suri.
So, yeah, I think you're right.
I think the game of Survivor, it's like the game itself has decided that Suri is not like it's against the laws of nature for Suri to make it to the end. So she's gonna find a way to finish fourth place here.
The interesting thing I found here when he gives the immunity necklace to Janine is that Luke says he wants to make fire in Final Four. And I don't believe making fire is a forced mandatory situation the way it is in the States. But at the same point, you can tell that this vote is just heading to be a 2-2 because I think Parv wants Suri to get to the end and to have that experience even at her own expense. And Luke and Janine are not budging that the two of them want to go together. Even though I think in everybody's situation here, if you're American, it's in your advantage to go to the final two with two Aussies. And if you're an Aussie, it's in your advantage to go to the final two with two Americans because of the vote splits that'll exist in this jury. I don't think any of them remotely care. So they're convinced that they're going to fire here, and Luke wanting to make fire is not good for whoever he's making fire against.
Well, we've seen Suri attempt at making fire, so if she has to make fire, that's not good for her.
No, that's not good for her. My bet is that Parv is going to win immunity in the final immunity challenge, and Luke is going to make fire against Suri.
My thinking is if you're Luke and Janine, and I forgot immunity will come into play. So let's just say one of them has immunity. I think they put their votes on Suri instead of Parv, knowing that she struggles with fire and that she'd be easier to take out, and then it's easier route. I think they would vote for her, anticipating a tie fire.
That makes sense.
But honestly, if Parv does go home at 4, and it's Luke and Janine and Suri, I think either of the Aussies have just as good of a shot as Suri does there.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Suri has, and I don't want to say she's had a bad game this season, but post game has been so controlling that I don't think that Suri has the same resume that she has in other seasons she's played.
Yeah. True.
All right, so who do you think's coming third?
I'm gonna say Janine.
Yeah, so am I, and I don't think Janine's going to get any votes.
Janine's awesome. She's played really well, but I think
she's played a good game, but I think she's just stuck in that 0-vote finalist role amongst, if it is going to be Parv against Luke, those are two players who played amazing games this season, and either one would be a fine winner of such a global showdown.
Yeah, and I think Luke is second, and I think Parv wins, and it's
interesting.
Whatever. I think Luke gets like 1 or 2 votes. I think it's a blowout vote too.
So you think the jury is going to be focused on game above all else, is what I'm hearing from that.
I guess so. I just feel like the edit they're giving her is too strong and too much.
Yeah. I think Luke's going to win.
Nice.
I picked Poe first overall in our draft. I hope she wins. I've been cheering for her the whole time. But no, I think Luke's going to win. I think Luke is in a position where I think he's going to get, say, Sarah's vote. I think he's going to get Lisa's vote. I think he's going to get Shawnee's vote. I think these are the players who want an Australian to win. Well, like maybe not Lisa, but like the Australians on this jury. I'm not sure what Kirby is going to do in this case. I think Kirby could be the like deciding vote, which will be really fun to see, seeing that she's an Australian and she also had that short-lived relationship with Parv that ended up in a huge blindside. And I don't know if Kirby is going to come out bitter, come out respecting Parv's game and saying how good of a blindside she made, or whether she's just going to come out as voting for her country. But to me, I just get the sense that, I mean, it's an Australian season. There's 7 Australians on this cast, 3 Americans, and 1 of everything else. I get the sense it's just set up for an Aussie to win this game.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm going to say Luke wins it in like a 4-3 vote. I think Parv will get votes from Suri. She'll get a vote from...
I think she does get Kirby.
Yeah, I would say probably Kirby and 1 other vote. So maybe like Shawnee. And then I could see like Lisa, Tommy, Sarah, and oh no, not Shawnee. Sorry, Parv will probably get Cass's vote.
Yeah.
And then I could see Shawnee, Tommy, Lisa, and Sarah voting Luke.
Yeah.
But I hope I'm wrong.
By the way, speaking of Kirby, I know like what Parv said is, oh, she turned on Sarah, who was her number 1, and so and so. I don't think Kirby was gonna turn on Parv at any point. I think she wanted to play with Parv as long as she could.
Yeah, I mean, we'll never know because she wasn't in the game. It's very possible, but it's also possible that she could have turned on her the next week in order to win the game herself. So,
and her and Sarah should have just never been number 1. Sarah, like Sarah said, that was a misread. She thought the playstyles would work, and it didn't.
Yeah, Sarah should have stayed as David's number 1, and Sarah voting out David lost Sarah the game, even though she's lasted another like 4 tries.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's about it. We will be putting this up, I guess, today now that it's filmed past midnight.
Well, for you it is.
We will be back on early next week. Yeah, for me it is. We'll be back early next week with our fantasy draft that we're going to record over the weekend for Survivor 49. So, I mean, in a couple of days, we're going to have our first 49 episode. And before Kevin can text us, this year we have a little bit of a twist in the fantasy draft in that you and I have not done our cast analysis. So none of the other competition gets to see what we think about this cast before we make our picks.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
Not that it really matters. I don't think Kevin listens to much of what I say. Just kidding.
Hey, speaking of a friendly rivalry between Luke and Parv, I think we have another friendly rivalry between Bruce and Kevin, whether it be here or on Pit Stop Pals.
Yeah. For sure.
But anyway, that was fun. Grab your torches and head back to camp, and we'll see you very soon we have our 49 draft. We're going to have a Australia finale recap coming up. We're going to have our cast analysis. And then by that time, I mean, we're pretty much going to be getting into Survivor 49 and episode 1 on the 24th of September.
For sure. It's exciting times.
Yeah. See you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.